Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, in this video here, no news, um, no opinions. I kind of wanted to just talk about a fighter who recently announced his retirement from boxing. I'm a fighter that when I was younger, and I've always been into a lot of different sports. But one of the fighters that I would say one of the very first fighters I ever liked, obviously Bernard Hopkins was the first one, but one of the very first fighters I ever liked when I was younger, my younger days was Shane Mosley, and Sugar Shane has formally announced his retirement from boxing, and he's been having problems with his back and a number of things. So if this is truly the end for Shane Mosley, I want to say it's been a great career. I've really enjoyed his fights, and I wanted to talk about just the one fight I remember watching as a kid that really captured my imagination. And I know a lot of people say like he was on PEDs that fight, but you're a kid, you're not really thinking about that stuff. You're kind of just watching the fight and taking it in. Sometimes I wish I could be young again and be kind of ignorant to that stuff, but regardless, he fought Antonio Margarito, and I remember watching that fight, and then I remember waking up for school the next day and watching it on watching the highlights on ESPN and just seeing how he beat the hell out of Antonio Margarito. At the time, I know Margarito was top name. I know Mosley was kind of an underdog going into that fight, and he really just put it on Margarito. So for me, that's always like when I think back to some of the fights that really like captured my imagination as a kid. It was that fight, Pacquiao versus Cotto, Hopkins versus Trinidad. These are fights that really like inspired my love for boxing growing up. So yeah, man, Sugar Shane's a great fighter, Hall of Famer for sure. He's had his controversies outside the ring. I know he's part of the Balco scandal, which is obviously not a good thing, but it is what it is there. Aside from that, I personally I met Shane Mosley in 2016, in September of 2016, when I got a chance to cover the Roman Gonzalez Carlos Cuadras fight. I met him at the Wild Card West boxing gym, and we did an interview. And he was such a nice guy, man. Half the time when I was talking to him, I didn't realize that the guy was a former world champion boxer. He was just a guy that was like just a normal guy. A normal guy. He didn't come off with the attitude that he was better than you. He didn't come up with an attitude that he didn't have no Hollywood persona to him. He was just one of the guys in the gym, and he was there with his son that day, and a couple other fighters, and he was really just nice and very gave me his time. If I could have, I believe I could have probably interviewed him for 15 minutes, but I decided to just interview him for 5 and be courteous to him. And yeah, man, just for that, I think Shane, that small interaction I had with Shane, he probably doesn't remember who the hell I am, but just that interaction and the fights that I did see as a kid, even the Mayweather fight, where he was probably the only guy that really ever like rocked Mayweather like that. He deserves respect for that, and he had a tremendous career, man, and he's fought a who's who. You look at the guys he's fought, Miguel Cotto. He's fought Winky Wright, Mayorga twice, Vernon Forrest, Margarito, Mayweather, Pacquiao, Canelo, Oscar De La Hoya. Mosley is definitely someone that when you talk about boxing in the 2000s, you can't really mention that era without mentioning his name. And I think one day he'll go to the Hall of Fame, and I think he should be remembered as a good fighter. I would definitely say one of the top 100 fighters of all time, maybe towards the latter part of that list, in my opinion. But yeah, man, a great fighter, a nicer man when I met him, a nice guy, and yeah, thank you for all the memories, Shane, and we're gonna miss you in the sport. And hopefully, you can get your health in order, because he's kind of been slurring recently, so I hope his health is okay. And again, thank you for the great fights and the interview you gave me in September of last year, and mad respect to Shane Mosley. So from True School Sports, we're gonna miss you, Shane Mosley, and hopefully you're around and you can continue to help these fighters like Sean Porter, like we've seen many times. And yeah, once again, thank you. And yeah, you guys can leave your comments down below and take the time to subscribe. And you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just keeping doing it. And once again, respect to Shane Mosley on a great career.